I want to talk about Black Room at Deep Studios. If you enjoy the content of this podcast, you will definitely enjoy the value that you get out of the Black Room and being a member of the Black Room. What it is it's a subscriber-based way to support the podcast. If you enjoy the podcast and want it to continue, I'm asking for your help. And in exchange, you're going to get an underground view of Muay Thai, American Muay Thai, as well as within Thailand. We have people who are now working on the ground in Thailand that are helping us get media, content, all that stuff. We're posting it there on Black Room, as well as behind the scenes footage of the podcast recordings when we're recording. After I stop recording for stuff that we broadcast, we put some subscriber-based only content on there. So you're going to really get a lot of value out of that subscription. Okay, it's not just supporting the podcast. We also have podcast subscriber only merchandise that's coming out as well here in 2024. So you have to be a part of the Black Room in order to get access to that. So I'm asking you for your help on that, but I know that it's not so much of you helping me. It's going to be us giving you a ton of value that you're going to get and just enjoy it. And it's only $5 a month. All right, you can cancel it anytime. Every little bit counts. Please go join it. The link is down in the show notes. All right. Anyways, sit back and enjoy the show.
Episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast is brought to you by pmtlifestyle.com. Authentic Muay Thai lifestyle by Pu'u. Definitely go check out the website at pmtlifestyle.com for some awesome lifestyle merchandise. That's for those of you out there either involved in Muay Thai, looking at getting involved in Muay Thai, and embrace a healthier lifestyle to live the life of the Nak Muay. Go check it out.
Swaddy Cop, welcome to this episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast. I'm here with Tim of Sack Life here in Scottsdale, Arizona at Deep Studios. I feel like we were trying to figure out when we saw each other last. So I did the math when I was going to the bathroom before this. It was the beginning of 2024.
Oh,
yeah.
Right on.
It was beginning of 2024. Yeah.
Just about a year.
Almost a year. Yeah.
Hey.
I think it was like March, something like that. In Las Vegas.
Yes.
We smashed some pads in front of the Las Vegas sign.
Yes, that was an awesome way to raise awareness.
Yeah, at sunset. It was like right before sunset, right?
Perfect.
Yeah. So you're here. You've been in Oklahoma, of all places, for the past few months, right?
Few months since end of September, beginning of November.
Yeah. It will take the mic. You know what? You can face towards me a little bit with your chair. Yeah, turn your chair a little bit this way.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. Boom. There you go.
Hey.
Yeah. So that way you get right into the mic.
More mic.
Yeah. We'll make sure this doesn't fall over, right?
I think
we're good.
I feel like it's drifting. It could be my imagination.
I think it's your imagination, my friend. But I got you. Okay.
Or the coffee.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of both. So, and I'm just out here throwing shit at you. Caffeine. I'm like, hey, you're drinking caffeine, hanging out in the desert. You're here in Scottsdale. And we were kind of just talking. I was like, hey, you want to do a podcast? And
always down.
Yeah, because I've been on your show, you've been on my show, you've been to the academies in Ventura,
yes,
in Santa Barbara with Coach Ryan and stuff. And I was saying I think you're the first one that's not like staff to go to both Pu'u Muay Thais and to Deep Studios.
Yeah, and it's an honor to be here.
Yeah, actually, my friend Josh Saliva, well, he's like he's a coach, so it's like he's a longtime friend, like kind of co-host and stuff, but like. The person I don't talk to, like I see you a lot on Instagram. I always try to stop in on your lives.
Yeah, I see you pop in from time to time. I appreciate that, man.
Of course. So for those that don't know what Sack Life is, give me the elevator pitch of what Sack Life is.
I got you. So in 2019, a punching bag helped me overcome clinical depression. Since that time, I started sharing it with my local community. It grew into a virtual community. And now that community brings me all across the country to serve free martial arts for mental health training in different communities in different areas. And I've built a Volkswagen bus that has a punching bag attached. And we can set up anywhere, anytime, and train out in nature and just share the tools that have helped me move forward with my mental health. And it's been an honor to be able to be a part of somebody else's journey like that. with all different types of people all across the country.
Yeah. And seeing that van, and I was like, damn, it's actually in pretty good condition. And, I know you had some major repairs you went through, and that's one of the reasons you were in Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's always something. If you're a vintage bus owner, it's a 77 Volkswagen, the Love Bus, the hippie bus. And part of that ownership is knowing you're going to be doing repairs all the time.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of like owning a boat.
Yeah. You're always fixing the boat.
Yeah.
So, but I don't mind. It's a labor of love because it's literally a dream come true for me. It's like I dreamt about traveling the country one day in a bus. I never knew how it would happen. And now here, this amazing community is allowing me this opportunity to live that dream.
How many years you been doing it now?
It's been 5 years since I started, 5 years since I found relief, and a little over 4 years on the road.
4 years on the road, teaching martial arts lessons. Did you have the van then?
No, actually. So I started in Kearney, New Jersey, and I got the amazing opportunity to train with Greg Wooten. He's a Muay Thai world champion out in Los Angeles.
It's Santa Monica now, right? Technically, left-hand Muay Thai.
Yeah, left-hand Muay Thai.
Yeah,
shout
out
to
to Nathan.
Nathan, awesome dude. Yeah, and I got to train with him too. He was the first. I don't know how you'd phrase it. He was the first like mainstream Muay Thai coach I was able to train with, and we did an interview early days, and just at the end of the interview virtually, I asked him, hey, if I ever make it out there, would you train me? And he said, of course. So I terminated my lease, moved into a Kia Soul, drove across the country for 91 days.
What color was the Kia Soul?
It was red.
Okay, red.
Is that okay?
Yeah, no, well, I have the yellow Kia Soul.
Oh, yeah. There's been a lot of Souls around.
Yeah, the Soul Train, man.
Cool.
Soul Train. So you got in there and you jumped over?
Yeah, hopped in the Kia Soul, drove it across the country, linked up with Greg, trained for 2 months. When I got there, he needed a car. So I sold him the Soul, which he's still driving to this day. It's crazy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then he drove me 2 hours north to buy the bus so that I could build this experience for others.
Because you told him what you wanted to do.
Yeah. And then it's been amazing. Ever since the bus hit the road, it's just been growing and building a community around it. And that community has been getting stronger every day. We're helping hundreds of people move forward with their mental health. And I get to still hit the bag. And the bag's with me everywhere I go. Getting out into nature, putting the bag up at the top of a mountain and just training into the sunset. What more do you need?
Oh man, no. Yeah, there's a lot to it. And we were talking a bit about it too, like stability. And you're like, man, I found a lot of what I've wanted in like relationships from this journey of like fulfilling your purpose, right?
Yes, it's been an incredible growing experience for me. I've grown a tremendous amount on this journey. I've been on the road for over 4 years, alone like 90% of the time. And what I'm finding through the community is a sense of fulfillment and a sense of connection, like deep, meaningful connection, to be able to share the tools that bring somebody relief when they need it the most, when they didn't know it was available. And to be a part of that journey, it leaves me with a lifelong connection. I meet people for 5 to 10 minutes and I know them for years.
Yeah.
And it's
here we are.
Yeah. It's incredible. And it's left me feeling less and less alone as I travel. And it helps me realize more and more what I need from community as a human being versus what I thought I needed from a partner in life. So it's just like I get less and less lonely every year, and I feel more and more fulfilled. And it helps me figure out not only what I need from community, but also what I can provide myself from my emotional state, my emotional world. Sometimes it's just getting to the bag and getting that physical relief that I needed in order to feel whole, in order to feel complete and feel sane and feel happy and healthy.
Yeah.
And other times it'll be, I need to train. I need to be out there serving the community, because when I serve, I get that fulfillment and I get that deep connection, and it's just been a blessing.
Yeah.
I don't know like how else to phrase it. It's been a blessing in my life.
Yeah. Well, you can see it, man. Like the amount of people, I think you have somebody who's been joining you every single day.
Oh yeah. Slayer Ken.
Slayer Ken.
He
Where is he based out of?
he's in Atlantic City.
Okay. Well, shout out
Yeah.
to Slayer Ken.
Shout out
Congrats,
to Slayer
dude.
Ken. Heck yeah, man.
Seriously, that's freaking dope, and congrats on all the progress. 'Cause
Oh.
how many days has it been now?
For him, it's over 1,600 days. And for me,
That's impressive. That's
yeah,
a
1,000.
few years.
Yeah, a couple of years, 1,600 days of goal accomplishment. And just on that, I do this virtual show live every day at the same time. And we share mental health tools. We start with gratitude. We move into a progress tracking tool. And then we get into some shadow boxing and technique. But some people tune in for just the gratitude. Some people tune in just for the progress tracking. It's really just a tool set that I'm sharing. And it's up to the individual on what works for them.
Mhm.
So when it comes to like building consistency and using that consistency tool, for Ken, maybe he's not training high intensity every day.
But he's there every day.
But he's there. He's doing the hardest thing, which is to show up and to show up for yourself, show up for your self-care. And not only that, he's building that consistency. And just by him sharing that, it's helping to impact the rest of the community. It's helping to motivate and inspire other people to start. And I've had numerous people over the years message me, letting me know that like, hey, it's because I see these other people that I'm giving it a shot. Like if it was just me, it could be like some freak guy, like a one-off, outlier. But it's really like showing people that they can be consistent and giving them tools to build that consistency and showing them it's possible. And that comes through the community. Creating that impact is only happening because we're doing it as a community.
Yeah. And that comes in like, you have your mental health, the power sack.
Yes.
Yeah.
And speaking on the power sack, you had the first
one
mental health bag we put up at the gym in Pu'u Muay Thai in Ventura.
Yes.
And it's an honor to be there. It's such an awesome spot.
Yeah.
You guys have a great community already. And it's so cool to be able to have that tool set, to share that tool set with your community. And have you had any?
Yeah, people. When it was part of our tour that we give new students, we show everybody that comes in learns about it and what it is, and we show them what it is, and everybody's like, I've never seen anything like that before. I'm like, yeah, we're the first ones.
That's awesome.
Like, it's my friend Tim. We told him about your mission and stuff like that because it ties into like I told you, one of the reasons like we wanted there is like this really ties into what we do, like 100%. And as martial artists, right, it's an outlet for people. Yeah. Right. There's some people that need it. And this was like one of the things that killed me like during COVID. It's like some of these people like need this. And I understand because like I need it.
Right. But until you experience it, you don't realize you need it.
Yeah, you don't realize it until afterwards. And that's why you're on your mission too. Because like it helped you. Right. And so it's like it's part of our tour when we show people because it looks different than every other heavy bag on purpose.
Yes.
It stands out. So people go, what's that? Like if they don't show it for whatever reasons, hey, what's the deal with this? Oh, let me tell you about it. Bring your phone over here. Scan this.
That's awesome.
So teenagers, kids, adults, and we talk about it because it's important and that's one of the reasons we wanted it. And I saw you got another place that got set up, right?
Yes, we had shout out to Zentai Martial Arts in North Arlington, New Jersey, for being the second home of the Power Sack.
Let's go.
We got a whole team coming together. We've got tools up on the East Coast, the West Coast, and now there's also a bag on the Beat Depression bus, so I can set up anywhere across the country and bring this tool set with me and be that part of a journey and have that positive impact.
And let me talk a little bit about this setup of this van. Because like for anybody that's out there that's watching or listening, I just want you to know, like when he says he has a setup for his van, it's not like some janky setup. Like this shit's solid. It's like custom arm that's put out. You even have like a speed bag.
I had a speed bag. The speed bag.
It's more of a table now.
Well, it's a table. It doubles as a table. When you live in a vintage bus, you have to make every inch of space count. And if you can multi-purpose things, that's the way. But people keep popping the speed bag because they don't realize it's not for power. And so someone will just run over and pop it. And
it's gone.
Yeah. And so I've replaced 5 speed bags already. And now I'm like on the fence with speed bag.
This is for anybody that's out there that can really, if you have a speed bag in your gym, your academy, or whatever it is, and you say it and it says, please don't hit it hard. Now you know why. Right. Or if it's always flat, now you know why.
Yeah, it's just a balloon in there.
Yeah, so. It's nothing big. So, but you got the heavy bag. You can rip it, man. I've ripped kicks into it and everything.
Yeah, and I've had heavyweight champions hit that bag full force, and it's really holding up. And gratitude to Century Martial Arts for helping us create this bag and giving us a quality bag that's continuing to serve the community for years. I mean, it's been hit by thousands of people, and it's holding together.
I'm actually surprised from Century.
It's wild. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
They make a good quality bag. It's based on their Creed line.
Well, they stepped up their development on that with because before Century used to kind of be it's kind of like the plastic karate stuff. That's it, in like vinyl.
Yeah,
right?
Very beginner oriented.
Yes, but
especially in their roots.
But now this one is they have some new, the bag hangers are different, the stitching's different, and we abused the crap out of that bag. I mean, you've seen how much we use them. We added in more bag classes, so it gets even more use now.
Nice.
So it's still there, man, still hanging. So
yeah. And it should be for many years to come.
Yes. I remember you asking me, and they, I think they had some kind of guarantee on it for a certain amount of time. So, I have a feeling it'll last past the guarantee. Knowing how it works, it's going to break the day after the guarantee, but that's okay. It's got its use.
That's just life.
Yeah, there's let's just say all of it is temporary. Nothing's promised, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, man, speaking of, I'm glad it didn't get messed up. You saw the roofing stuff we had going on.
I know you went through a few environmental challenges at some point.
Yeah.
I didn't get all the details, but I know you were going through it.
So let me just share with you, and I had to practice. For me, I didn't get too stressed about it because I knew at the end of the day, there's nothing I'm doing everything I can, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not, when you go through life and then you go through business too, it's we're 10 years in business. This happened the day after our 10-year anniversary party. So we talked to our landlord, and I asked them, hey, what's going on? We had this roof project. They kept trying to set I'm no, what's going on? Are you guys pulling off the roof? What's happening? Do we have to pull stuff out? Do we need to prepare for this? And they kept saying, well, we'll get in touch. We're going to push it back. And they're like, we talked to them. They said they're not going to pull off the roof at all. It's just going to be a little bit loud. It's not going to disturb your operations. They're not making holes in the roof, so you don't need to worry about it. There's not going to be any debris or anything.
Yeah.
So Ed shows up to teach private lesson that morning. He sends me a video, and there's all this black tar all over the mats, and they're banging on it. And he's just like, "What do you want me to do?" I'm like, "Tell him to stop." And the guys got pissed at him. So I rolled up down there. I was in town because I knew this was going on.
Yeah.
Over there, I'm like, "What the F, man?" The guy got in my face.
That's crazy.
Because
it's a martial arts school. Why?
I don't.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, I don't know if he thought it was some random person or what, but it's man, dude, you got to put plastic down something. You guys didn't tell us. Yeah, we did. I'm like, no, you didn't. I'm like, I have no calls. My landlord showed up. Hey, we were around. We wanted to see what's going on because they had 3 units that they lease. We're one of the businesses, the tattoo shop, and Gotetsu, Japanese food. And they wanted to check on it, make sure everything's going okay. And they went in and their jaws just hit the floor. This is not what we were told was going to happen at all. So luckily, Ed was there and they were able to get some plastic down. But a pipe, they knocked a pipe loose to we have a sub-ceiling like this.
Yeah.
And you met Vinny. The pipe almost hit Vinny.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they knocked the pipe through. I'm like, dude, no, we're getting out of the building. So it was tar, wood splinters. They ended up peeling off the entire roof.
Jeez.
And it was just... there's tar, there's wood splinters, dust, all this stuff all over the mats, all over the equipment in the back, all the coaches' equipment in there. There's around $25,000 worth of damage.
Oh my god.
As over there. And I was begging them, please, file an insurance claim from day one.
Yeah.
Please file an insurance claim, please. They just would not do it. And they kept, we're going to fix it. We're going to make it right, blah, blah. Maybe a month went by, or a month and a half. And I finally got somebody on the phone because he went over there and checked out the roof and he's like, oh, it doesn't look bad. I'm like, yeah, because we cleaned everything up. We flipped the mats over so that way we could use the bottom side of the mats. But everything's all that stuff there that's in the corner, that's the stuff that's all messed up.
With tar?
Yeah. It's we can't use it anymore because it has sawdust, wood chips in it, splinters. Had metal splinters from metal that they were cutting up there and stuff. And it's just this is belly pads on your skin with that. You can't use it.
No, it's a hazard.
So yeah, it's a safety hazard. It's a liability. So I was explaining to him like, hey man, like the longer you're gonna wait, like when it's 2025, which today is January 19th, I'm like, tariffs going in, price, all this stuff's going up too. Like this is gonna cost more. Like if we don't get this replaced, they just kept dragging their feet, man. So these guys offered me $25,000 of damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just the way my team handled it, like I'm super proud of them because they got it back together as fast as they could. We were closed for a week. Adapted everything that we could to try to salvage everything. My landlord paid for a professional floor cleaner to come in, and they came in, did the best they could. It couldn't salvage half the mats, so we lost half the mats. And these guys, I finally get a hold of him, and he goes, "Oh, well, no, it's in our contract that we could do that stuff. Blah blah. It's not really on us." He's like, "But I'll give you $3,000, and you have to sign an NDA."
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm like, dude, you just like pretty much kicked me in the dick.
That's crazy, man.
I'm like, do you not realize we just made it through COVID, like through the shutdowns, and then you guys pull the roof off without telling anybody?
Yeah.
A small business, much less. See, it's lucky I wasn't like a pharmaceutical, like a pharmacy or something.
Yeah.
Like that would imagine that, or like some kind of medical supplies. So I was just like, man, you gotta like. I'm like, yeah, at least cover the cost of the equipment. He's like, no, I don't think so. Blah blah. Okay, well, I'm like, he's all, well, you can just try to go through insurance. Good luck. So I get a hold of insurance after like another month.
Yeah.
And the guy's saying, well, we're not the ones on the contract, so we're not liable. And then I'm like, why did you give me your number? He's like, well, they're trying to defer responsibility. I'm like, no, you guys were a subcontractor on it. You were still responsible. And they're trying to play through this BS of like, for anybody that's out there that's listening, I'm sharing this story because you have a wide audience. I got a wide audience. Yeah. In business, you're going to deal with these things. It's going to happen, right? And the big thing is about doing it the right way. Mm-hmm. People make mistakes. Just own up to it. Make it right. Please. That's all I ask. That's all you got to do. They were not making it right. And they were trying to deflect. And I'm like, man, you guys are responsible. I have your name on the contract. You guys are a subcontractor for them.
Yeah.
And I'm not using the name of the company. I can, but I'm not going to. If you want to know, let me know. But I was just like, man, you got to talk to my attorney. Like, I can't deal with this. This is BS, man. Like, you're saying you're not going to pay me for my equipment, that you're not responsible. That's completely and utter BS. I saw I have videos and pictures of you guys there. Tim, they had work boots on a mat, and they said they were going to come clean it. They came in with leaf blowers indoors with gas powered leaf blowers in California.
Come on.
And I was just like, please stop.
That's crazy.
Please stop. And Glory's like, oh my God, what do you want me to do? I'm like, tell them they gotta, like, they can't be like, no, like, please, like, this is not helping.
Yeah.
So eventually they waited for me to get an attorney, and we were about to file a suit. Mm-hmm. We showed them like, hey, we really don't want to do this, but we're just trying to make this thing whole and try to recoup our loss. If we go to court, it's going to go up much more now, right? Yeah. And it's going to take longer, and they're still trying to thumb their nose at it. And we finally got them to settle for just covering the cost of the equipment, at least. It covered about
not the mats.
Some of the mats, yes. So some of the mats and the equipment, but there's some other losses. So basically, it covers about a quarter of it. It's about a quarter of the damages. Yeah, but I'm just happy to be on with it, right? Yeah. And the things that got like, it didn't affect me in the moment, right? But I think it's like this thing's like, the reason I mention this is like gratitude. I started when that was going on, I'm like, gratitude journal.
Oh yeah. Daily
gratitude, which you do on your show.
Yeah. One of the most important things you can do for yourself and your mental health is practice gratitude as a tool. Uh-huh. And a lot of people think that's you have to force yourself to be grateful, and that's not it. Gratitude as a tool is about you prompting your subconscious mind to look for things to be grateful for. It doesn't matter if you don't find it the first time, but if you get into a regular practice of asking yourself that question, just take a moment and say, what am I grateful for in this moment? Just do that on a regular basis. And over time, it starts to become easier and easier to find those things. And
what's the good in it? All right.
Yeah.
You got to find what's good in your day.
What's good? What can you be grateful for? Like, you still have a business.
Yeah. So I have a business.
You still have students coming in. You still have support from the community.
Yep.
There's so much for you to be grateful for.
Yeah.
But if you didn't have the mindset of gratitude, you wouldn't see that. You would only see the problem.
Yes.
And it would sit there and fester, and you dwell on it, and it just gets miserable.
Yeah, and it gets real depressing real quick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was like, and that's why I say, like, I'm grateful I had a team. It's like I was leaving a few days after that back here to Arizona, and I had people like, "Oh, are you sure you should leave your business?" I'm like, it's not gonna help me being here. My team's got it. We got classes going. I can practice more logistically being away from this. That way I can kind of detach from it and just, this is what I can do. Right. Me being there didn't help. Seeing it and helping, hey, this is messed up. We got to get it figured out. But that daily gratitude of, just like you said, finding is like, it was like, hey, let's get ready for some classes at the park, classes at the beach. It's outdoors. We're good. We survived all the COVID shutdowns. We can do this. Right.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about like the gratitude practice and how you found that.
So gratitude practice, when I started this back in 2019, it was just me hitting the bag. I came out of the ER dealing with suicidal ideation, and I bought a bag because I was angry, didn't know what to do with it. And when I started training on it, I felt that relief. The first time I felt a weight come off my shoulders. 20 days in, it stopped my suicidal ideation, which has not returned in over 5 years. And as I continue to train, I started to link up with other mental health advocates, and they started to add resources in to my training program for my mental health. And I think that's where I developed this lane of martial arts for mental health, because I'm training with the goal of improving my mental health. And so to do that, I have to create a program that's catered to mental health, which is, if you have any goal, if you want to compete, train in a place that is producing competing athletes, right? If you want to lose weight, train in a place that has a weight loss program, right? So you want to train to meet your goals. And since my goal was mental health, I wanted to see how much more can we do with the bag. So I've got the physical tool, but how much more can we add into that training to make it really have this bigger impact and reach even better levels for mental health and for growth? And so one of the mental health advocates that I linked up with let me know about the gratitude tool and how it was affecting them. And then I met another person who had been practicing gratitude alone for 260 plus days in a row. And she was talking about how it completely transformed her mindset. And that's just the one tool. This is just one thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's the coolest thing, because you don't have to be in any kind of physical shape to do it. You can do this from your bed. There were days when I was debilitated by my depression, and it felt like I physically couldn't move my body out of bed. And the gratitude tool is something I could still do for myself, even if I didn't find the answer. Just practicing it as a tool and having that compounding effect, training your brain to find that gratitude. So it's been a collaboration with this growing community. That's how it worked its way into our daily practice.
Got it. So, and the gratitude, when you're saying like somebody practiced it for 200 plus days by themselves, right? So, for me, I thought it was like a crock of shit when I heard about it first time. I'm like, really? I'm like, really? Like that's it? Like, yeah, dude, kick rocks. It was actually my business coach that introduced me to it. Shout out to Nick Wilson from Kovars. And I was going through like a really rough patch in like work, really burnt out, really depressed and all this stuff. He's like, hey man, this helped me out during these hard times. Like when I had hard times like this. And I started doing it. I was like, maybe it's working. And I was like, hey, like, you know what? I'm actually, after a couple of weeks, I was like, you know, I'm actually feeling better. Oh, okay. So like I kept with it. And like I think you regifted it because I was like, hey, give this to somebody that's going to need it, right?
Yes.
Gratitude journal.
Gratitude journal, yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
And I think he actually DM'd us. I can't remember his name, but he's like, hey, like Tim gave this to me.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
So
it's another tool to share.
Because I'll mention it's like fear, anger, resentment. Those things, they come almost naturally, right? Gratitude, it actually foster it, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
And like anybody that's watching or listening, I want you to hear that part again. Fear, anger, resentment, those things come to you naturally. Those are natural instincts. A feeling of gratitude and being grateful for things, you have to practice it and foster it. And if you don't, it's easy for it to go away. Right?
Yes.
Especially in those times where you need it the most, you want that to be like a really strong muscle in your brain. Like, hey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There are a lot of people in the mental health field who agree that the way to create lasting positive change is through experience. It's experiential. So it's not just about talking about the issue or knowing about the tools. It's about experiencing them and putting them into practice and building that routine of putting these tools into practice. That's where you get the lasting positive effects of the gratitude tool.
Yep.
Because I felt the same way when I heard about it. I was like, this is bullshit. There's nothing for me to be grateful for. Like, this is not going to work.
Or I'm not, what do you mean? I'm not like, what do you mean? I'm grateful for stuff. I don't need it. Like,
well, I mean, like in the clinical side, when I was dealing with, not now, now I'm overwhelmed with gratitude every day. Everything that I have in my life, I'm grateful for. When I eat a meal, it's the community that provided me with that meal. When I put gas in my bus, it's the community putting gas in the bus. Like, everything that I have in my life now is full of gratitude, and it's been the best quality of life I've ever had. And it's continuing to get better, which is mind blowing.
Wow. Well, hey, how can people find you?
Oh yeah. If anybody would like to check out what we have to offer, what we've got going on all across the country, just check out saclifeofficial.com and you'll find tons of free resources there. There's also links to local support groups in your area from both the American Foundation on Suicide Prevention and the National Alliance on Mental Illness. So if you're looking for support in your area, they're peer-led groups. And there's links to the 988 crisis line, 24 hours a day nationwide. If you are in crisis, there's a team waiting to help. You can find all of that stuff on the website as well at saclifeofficial.com. And if you'd like to join me for my daily self-care or daily free virtual training, it happens every day at 4 p.m.
This is Mountain Standard Time.
Mountain Standard. 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 6 p.m. on the East Coast and 3 p.m. on the West Coast on Sac Life Official at Instagram.
Awesome. Well, Tim, thanks for coming in, man.
Thanks so much for having me, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, and anybody that's listening too, just so you know, if you're listening and you didn't get that, you're like, where do I find it? The links will be down in the description here on YouTube. If you're listening to it, it's in the show notes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, all that stuff is down in the show notes. So go check that out. And with that said, Sac Life.
Beat depression.
All right, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in today to the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast. If you enjoy the content, go leave a review over on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Give us a rating. It means the world to us. Also, if you want to be a guest on the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast, or if you just want to shout out to your friend, go check us out at podcast.puumuaythai.com. You can submit to be able to be a guest on the podcast. You can submit what you want to talk about. Also, if you want to just give a shout out, there's a button for that too. Sawadee Kop.